Hello, welcome. My name is William Sabule. I'm very glad to have you join me here always on the Newspaper Review. This is where we bring you the headlines across newspapers around Nigeria. Don't forget, you can also participate on this program by first subscribing and, of course, clicking your notification key. That will always help you get notified whenever we come online. We are also on other social media handles, so do well to follow us on all of these other platforms. We're on Facebook at Thav TV. On Instagram, it's ThavTV_NG, and on Twitter, it's at Thav TV. So if you follow us on these platforms, you get to participate by dropping your comments and your reactions about the headlines we'll be reading out to you. We are broadcasting live from Rivers State, Nigeria, and this is the Newspaper Review. We'll be right back after this short break. Thank you very much for staying with us up to this time. Let's begin our readings from the Vanguard newspaper for today, the 16th day of March, 2022. And the headliner here on the Vanguard newspaper says, Energy Crisis, OPS, NLC, Reps, Orders 1. On that, I'll take the sub-headlines under that headline. It says, Local Refining, the Solution, OPS, Nigerians can't continue like this. NLC once says there is limit to what people can tolerate. Hand over moribund refineries to IOCs, reps tell federal government. Decry 778 billion naira operating loss. $26.5 billion spent on maintenance. Call for expedited action on dredging of the Calabar seaport. Crisis to escalate inflation as rate rises to 15.7%. Analyst, several flights cancelled as aviation fuel scarcity persists. We can only release number of flights cancelled, delayed after quarterly meeting with stakeholders. NCAA speaking there. So all of that details is on page 5 of the Vanguard newspaper. So pick up a copy and run to that page. At the top part of the Vanguard newspaper there, we see Obaseki Wike Rift forces PDP to shift next meeting to today. And that's the on page 6 of the Vanguard newspaper. Other stories here on the Vanguard newspaper, we see APC crisis. Akpanu Doedehe retakes National Secretariat. We are not aware Akpanu Doedehe has resumed Bellows camp. And that's the on page 7 of the Vanguard newspaper. Moving on, we go to Nigerian News Direct. Nigerian News Direct paper. And the headliner there is saying 2.6 trillion naira unremitted funds. Reps begin probe of 77 oil firms. 2.6 trillion naira unremitted funds. Reps begin probe of 77 oil firms. Threaten arrest of defaulters. Project Fund Recovery for Debt Servicing. Bajabia Amelia speaking there. And it's on page 3 of Nigerian News Direct. All right. Other stories on Nigerian News Direct. We see there NCDMB boss commissions Valve Assembling Center in Port Harcourt. Energy cost, Naira devaluation, others push inflation rate to 15.7%. I'll take that again. It says energy cost, Naira devaluation, others push inflation rate to 15.7%. All right, at the bottom part of Nigerian News Direct there, we see maritime regulations, stakeholders, orders give nod to amendment of NIMASA Act. So do well to pick up a copy of Nigerian News Direct. That's where we find details of those stories there. And moving on, we go to This Day newspaper. And on This Day newspaper, we see there, despite Akpanu Dehe's optimistic statement, Buni Bello reconsider positions. CECPC Secretary commends INEC for standing firm, says party is crisis-free. Reconciliation still ongoing, Ganduje declares. Party commences sale of forms ahead of convention. Chairmanship goes for 20 million naira. Bid to vacate order stopping convention suffers setback. All right, so you'll find that story on This Day newspaper. And at the top part of This Day newspaper there, we see cash-strapped federal government to utilize part of Eurobond domestic borrowing to finance fuel subsidy. cash-strapped federal government to utilize part of Eurobond domestic borrowing to finance fuel subsidy. So, to get details of that story, you need to pick up a copy of this day newspaper. And lastly, I'll take this headline from same this day newspaper. It says, Atiku, I didn't run against Obasanjo in 2003 to sustain zoning policy. Explains why he rejected Tinubu as running mate in 2007. So pick up a copy of this day newspaper. That's where you find details of all of that story. Next, we'll go to Daily Sun newspaper. And on Daily Sun, from the top, we see 2023 presidency. PDP splits over zoning. 2023 presidency. PDP splits over zoning. Party's national caucus failed to agree. Reschedules meeting. NEC to meet today. And that story is on page 8 of the Daily Sun newspaper. And moving on, we see aviation fuel. Senate steps in, begs operators. That story is on page 8 of the Daily Sun newspaper. And the big headline on the Daily Sun says, APC chairmanship, aspirants to pay 20 million naira. Buni Akponu Doade take firm control of party secretariat. Bello expected in office. CPC thanks INEC for intervention, says March 26, sacrosanct. And all of that details you find in page 6 of the Daily Sun newspaper. Moving on, we see tax force. Bus drivers clash in Lagos. Commuters stranded. All right. So do well to pick up a copy of Daily Sun newspaper. That's where you find details of that story. Moving on, we'll go to Daily Trust newspaper for today, the 16th day of March, 2022. And we see here APC crisis. Buni's camp bounces back as activities for convention begin. Party pegs chairmanship form at 20 million naira. Secretary, 10 million. Lawyers bicker over representation as court decides suit tomorrow. Confusion over NEC meeting. All right, so get the details of that story and you go to page 6. That's where you find story on the Daily Trust newspaper. Other stories here says presidential race, we are not troubled by Osibanjo's ambition. Tinubu's camp responding there says presidential race, we're not troubled by Osibanjo's ambition. Blackout worsens as power grid collapses again. Blackout worsens as power grid collapses again. And then at the bottom part of the Daily Trust newspaper there, we see aviation fuel selling at 670 naira per litre as marketers, operators fail to agree. Airlines insist on price reduction or ball out. Senate begs operators to withdraw shutdown threat. Okay, all right, we move on to the Punch newspaper. And on the Punch newspaper there, we see Buni's men tighten hold on APC. Buni's men tighten hold on APC. Akpanu Dehe returns to office. Convention remains shaky. Court fails to lift injunction. NEC holds Thursday. All right. APC raises cost of chairmanship form to 20 million naira as aspirants snub consensus. Okay, that's what you find as the major news on the Punch newspaper, and that story is on page 2 of that paper. That is the Punch newspaper. Okay, other stories here on the Punch we see here. Amid fuel crisis, Nigeria's inflation hit 15.70% in February. All right. Senate proposes airlines bailout. Operators insist on flight suspension. Senate proposes airlines bailout. Operators insist on flight suspension. All right. So do well to pick up a copy of the Punch newspaper. And last on my list today is the New Telegraph newspaper. And the headliner there says leadership, APC, leadership change drama ends as Akpanu Edehe returns. Leadership change drama ends as Akpanu Edehe returns. And under that, we also see says Buni remains chair. Musa Al-Makura Mustafa each pays 20 million naira for chairmanship form. Discussions on consensus selection ongoing, Ganduje. Discussions on consensus selection ongoing, Ganduje. Lawyers' disagreement stalls suit to vacate order stopping convention. All right, so do well to pick up a copy of the New Telegraph. That's where you find details, and it's on page 3, 5, and 6 of the New Telegraph newspaper. Other stories here, we see strike Federal government also should find common ground to save our children. Elders, Obi sues for greater government investment in education. That story is on page 4 and 5 of the New Telegraph. And at the very top part of that paper, we see there, E-Naira report hinges success on mass adoption. Also, we see there, inflation rose to 15.7% in February. And then at the very bottom part of that paper, that is the New Telegraph, we see federal government eyes $2.2 billion borrowing to fund oil subsidy. Oil sustains 2-week price crash below $100 per barrel. It's on page 5 and 25 of the New Telegraph newspaper. That's all we'll be taking right now. Next on the program is our discussion segment. But don't forget to also follow us on our social media handles. We're on Facebook, Instagram, and on Twitter. It's showing right there on your screens right now, so do well to follow us on those handles so you get to participate by dropping your comments and your reactions. Stay tuned, we'll be right back after this short break.
Have you registered for your permanent voter's card? I mean, your PVC. There is a Nigeria we all seek, a place where love, peace, security, and unity can reign supreme.
Waste no time. We want a country where peace and justice will be the order of the day.
Unfortunately, there's a problem. One big challenge this generation has to solve.
Our country cries for help every day. We need able and capable hands to lead and direct.
These capable hands can be you. Have you gotten your PVC? Have you registered for the ongoing voting process? Don't say your vote does not count. Yes, it does.
Have you gotten your PVC? Your apathy towards Nigeria's electioneering process will further inhibit our collective growth and development as a nation. Your refusal to participate and engage will keep us at a standstill. So be intentional.
I have my PVC. Your votes, your voice would go a long way in preventing absolute destruction of this country and the future of our children, the hope of tomorrow.
The 2023 Nigerian elections are just around the corner. Go out and get heard. Don't forget, your vote, your voice. This message is proudly brought to you by Thav Media Limited.
Welcome back. We are back on the show, and I've been joined by Mr. Victor Sioko, my regular commentator. Welcome once more.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you for always making it through to the studio to analyze some of these headlines we read out. And
thank you.
My viewers, don't forget to also participate by dropping your comments and your reactions. All right, let's go to the headlines this morning. I find this one very interesting. I think we should talk about it, or we could start from there. It says, Atiku to PDP Board of Trustee members, support my ambition or we retire together. What do you make of that comment?
Desperate talks. It's coming from a desperate angle, as far as I'm concerned. I see Atiku just as I see our president. When our president was shedding tears and begging, begging the masses to come and vote for him, giving him the powers. At least he has enjoyed that he was asking for. Lo and behold, we are the ones suffering it. Atiku, I think he has contested for 5 times. In 1993, SDP. If you remember, he contested with Mushood Abiola, okay, and King Dibe. They won, as in Abiola won, and that was that. 1999, he came in as the vice president. Actually, our 11th vice president. Then he had a rift with the president. Remember? Yes. With Obasanjo. And he wanted to contest, I think, 2007. He wanted to call this guy to join him, Tinubu. But he was like, now, he was talking about the zoning system, because he made the statement that he wanted to choose Tinubu, but due to the zoning system, he didn't want to. So what is he even talking that? CEO, the major clarification he wanted to get from the party was like, see, I don't want us to microzone the presidency, just like what APC had. The APC have already said the South should take the presidency. But Atiku on his own, although there are indications that the PDP wants to give the seat to a Southerner. But Atiku on his own is coming out to say, please, we don't need to zone the presidency. We should just try and win this seat, because if we don't win this 2023, that will be the end of PDP. So I think, personally, Atiku might seem to be a big candidate for PDP, but trimming it down to the voters, I believe Nigerians don't want what has happened before with Buhari to repeat itself.
Yeah, it's true.
Atiku is 75. He should please, personally, I think he should step aside. He has done his bit for the country. He has, he has contested 5 times. SDP, PDP, and ADC. So Action Congress.
Yeah.
Yes. So he should please, he should leave the party. Let them. Also, he mentioned they should have a level playing ground. Yes, I support they should have a level playing ground. But in terms of presidency, personally,
why do you think he has the effrontery to think that if he doesn't succeed or the party doesn't win this time, that the party is going to go extinct, sort of?
Also, I
You agree with him?
Yeah, I agree with him, because PDP on their own, they are shaking. They're shaking.
Both parties are. We know that the internal crisis that we see in APC and that has been the talk of the town for quite a while now, it's also there in PDP.
I don't see them surviving 8 years of not having the next 8 years of not having the presidency. I don't think so. And you know, somebody like, we also have to say Wike, in as much as they call him a bully. Okay, they call him a bully. Let me keep it that way. They call him a bully. He's been funding the party. No two ways about that. And yes, River State. He's been funding, let's keep it that simple. He's been funding the party. That is why he also feels that, you know, money stops nonsense. Yeah.
You know, he says it. He says, I have more stake in the party than most of these governors that are behaving ungrateful.
So they want to shut him up, especially the elderly ones like Atiku. They want to shut him up. Okay, but he is, if you notice, he is tilting towards the south. In as much as we still have people like Saraki and Tambuwaz from the north. But PDP on their own, they want to bring a formidable presidential candidate that can go head on with APC. So,
and I believe that they feel that they have a good chance or a good shot at the seat in 2023 based on how the current APC government has performed. They have performed really badly, and this is the chance that PDP has to regain power, or like Atiku said, they lose it for a very long time, if not forever. And they have to come up with another kind of name or another kind of party to want to contend again.
Now we come again. PDP, they are so quiet at a time like this that the economy is plunging. At a time, they are not saying, okay, look at Atiku, look at where Atiku's mind is, how to get the presidency, stop about microzoning. But they are not even talking about the main issues that we are having. How do you solve these problems?
How do we come out of where we are now? I mean, Nigeria is in I don't know the word to describe it, but we are in a standstill. We are stuck in a place right now where everything has become, I'd like to describe the current Nigerian situation as like a country that we are now, our second name is now crisis. We have petrol crisis, we have economic crisis, political crisis, everything is
banditry. We are not even talking about the banditry attacks anymore.
And recently, power grid has gone down to below. I mean, it's disturbing to think of where Nigeria is now. And it is even more worrisome to see that our leaders are more focused on who is going to be president in 2023 and all the politics that they've been playing for 8 years, and it's still on at this very. And that's what's affecting us, because the focus is now moved from solving or resolving these issues to politicking. And the present government has not, in fact, I don't think they even know where to take the country to at the moment. So they've even left it to people that are talking. Our president has gone to chill his head. It's like his head is now full with too many, negative comments. So he needs to go away for a while and just chill. He's doing that to help himself. We are here in the mess, and it's really an unfair situation. Do you want to talk a bit about APC? APC also, their crisis still rages on. I mean, with the Akpanode Ode, sorry if I'm massacring your name. I've been trying to call that name all day.
The secretary.
The secretary, and Buni coming back, and then Musa. What's your comment? What's your take?
Okay, the secretary, Akpan, came to was at the headquarters yesterday, and from all indication, they say that Bello, who is the deputy chairman, who say that the presidency anointed him.
Yes.
So they say that they can't find Bello. Bello is nowhere now. He's nowhere near the secretariat. So Akpan is back. Okay, and we are waiting for the 26th. Yes, remember there was a list from the party with respect to zoning where each office positions will go to. Okay, but from all indication right now, that list has been trashed. There's a new list coming out, and we are hoping to see that list before the end of the weekend. And I believe that's where another friction will occur. The APC, they are more like a tickling time bomb. Anything can happen at this time. A whole lot of politicking is happening behind the scene. Remember, the Yahoo governors are still fighting hard against the 19. They are fighting for Buni, so that Buni's tactics, strategies will work in their favor too. So I believe from now to the end of the weekend, we should get more.
We'll see more revelations.
Details.
Yeah. All right.
Yes.
Thank you very much. So, moving on away from politics, let's go into the aviation crisis that is up at the moment. The diesel price keeps going up, and aviation operators are planning or are threatening to shut down. Yes. And the Senate has been trying to intervene by saying, oh, they should hold on, and all of that. They should. And in my thought, I'm like, why should they? These guys are running at a huge loss, and they've been crying.
Yes.
They've been crying for weeks. Do something about it. Most people can no longer fly these airlines anymore. They've resorted to going via the roads, and these roads are not safe in any sense of it. But they are not secured, they are not safe. We have very terrible roads around the country, and the insecurity on the roads are crazy. And now the only means of safety is threatening to shut down. What's your reaction to all of this? Okay,
I think they've done their best, the airline owners. They've done their best because they are running a business.
Yeah.
They've collected loans.
Huge
and
loans.
they need to meet up.
They need to service these loans.
They pay staff. They pay pilots. So, Onyemugochukwu, which is the Airpeace CEO, he came out. They had a meeting with Kyari, the MD of NNPC, who said that, okay, the price of this aviation fuel is around 750. Okay, let's find a way and meet at 500 naira for the next 3 days. That meeting was held on Monday. So we count Tuesday, Wednesday, today, Thursday. Max by Friday, if nothing happens, they will down tools. Because they can't continue to be running on losses. Also, they made it clear to the government that since we can buy airlines worth millions of dollars, sometimes 70 million, 80 million dollars, why can't you guys, since you cannot manage the affairs of marketing or supplying this aviation fuel to us, let us have the licenses to bring in these products, and you guys stay aside. We pay our taxes, bring in this product, and run our business.
Well, if you say that, I don't know if, that would be sustainable. I mean, look at our electricity sector. The Gencos are crying and saying that federal government have been owing them billions of dollars within the last, from 2015 till date. And as a result of that, power grid is down. So I don't know what will work in this country. I don't know. In the last 8 years, we've come to experience diverse kinds of, crisis, as it were. And this is a pointer to the fact that we are not moving. Nigeria is failing. And the present-day administration needs to stand up to its responsibilities and start to act. I mean, we are failing, and they are pushing Nigerians to the wall. It will get to a point where there will be a pushback. And I can't believe, it would be if you ask me, in my opinion, I think the aviation sector should shut down for some days. Let both the rich, the poor, everybody feel the pain.
But that would be harsh on the economy too.
It will be harsh on the economy because it's already harsh on the economy. I mean, look at inflation rates, highest in all time.
15.7.
It has never been this bad. It has never been this bad. We are now at the point where we say, okay, let's all be in the mess together. So I will not be surprised if they shut down. To me, yes, it costs a lot of pain, but let everybody feel it. Let everybody feel it. Both the rich, the senators that are begging that, oh, please don't shut down, we are doing something about it. They are just begging for themselves.
Yeah.
They're not begging
they are
for the
transiting with this.
This is what they use. No senator travels by road. The best they can do is travel from his house to the airport.
Yeah.
They don't travel by road. So what's going on now is that they are pleading with these airline operators to not shut down for their own sake, not for Nigerians. The ordinary Nigerian, the average Nigerian does not fly every day by plane. They don't do their business on via, traveling around Nigeria by planes because of course, everybody is trying to economize, the cost of living. So if you ask me, they should shut down for a day or two.
And what shocks me the most about this aviation fuel issue is that they ask the marketers, why are you selling this at this price? When the landing cost is way cheaper than 500. What is happening? They couldn't respond.
I don't even get it.
And can you even imagine from the days of bat fuel till the Gencos, till the aviation issues now, we've not heard that they've sacked any government official.
No name
Nobody,
mentioned.
no name, nothing.
I know, it just tells you how
They're just cruising.
irresponsible our government is. Federal government have been saying, oh yes, those people responsible should be punished. Who are the people responsible? I mean, we are used to those kind of comments years before now, where we hear that, oh, somebody has been held responsible. You don't get to know the person. You don't get to know what happens to the person. So people do things in impunity in this country. And it has brought us to where we are now. So yes, let everybody feel the pain. So they say it's the war in Ukraine that is affecting us. Yeah, all right now. Let us all be feeling the war in Ukraine because we are the ones fighting. We are the ones in Ukraine fighting. So let's feel it. So I really don't mind. But if you ask me, I really love that the aviation sector shut down for a day or two. It will affect our economy. It will change everything. But the ordinary man in Nigeria is already in serious pain.
Yes.
Some people cannot feed anymore. People are dying from this thing.
I was at the market yesterday just to buy okra. I got to the market. My brother, I could count, let's say, 4 little okras for 50 naira.
You don't get it. Like a lot.
I almost shed it here.
It already has the highest level of negative effect on a lot of people, a lot of ordinary Nigerians, and it's not fair. And I feel that if it takes the airliners to shut down or all the sectors to shut down for the federal government to know that, yes, this has gone beyond control, then, I mean, it should happen. All right, thank you very much, Mr. Victor. That's the much we'll be taking today. Thank you for always making it through to the studio to analyze some of this headline. And our viewers, I thank you so much for staying with us up to this time. Until next time, we'll come your way again. Do well to join us next time. My name is Williams Abule.